Today's 49ers Q&A mailbag with Chase Sr. and Thomas Mott here at Chat Sports is brought to you by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/49ers and enter the promo code 49ers. It's very easy. You get 20% off plus free shipping on the best men's grooming products, the official men's grooming products of the San Francisco 49ers. Also, hey, if you're looking at me and you don't know who I am Chase Sr. I'll be taking over the 49ers report. Thomas Mott is going to help us grow here at Chat Sports and handle some other content duties as Chat Sports continues to blow up. I'm really pumped up about it. Looking forward to interacting with all of you. This question coming in from Baker Skrell. Sign Kerryon Johnson. He was released by the Detroit Lions. I don't think they have enough spots left at running back. Thomas, what do you think?
They have 10 running backs now? It's not that high. It's very high. I was shocked they got Trey Sermon. I'll be honest. I thought Trey Sermon pick was a mega reach for a non-need in the third round. I like Trey Sermon out of course, first Oklahoma and then Ohio State. So if you don't like the Sermon draft pick like me, then why would you need Kerryon Johnson? He played all 16 games last year, which is good, but you see the touches there. Like they went with DeAndre Swift and Adrian Peterson. I am out on, of course, signing Kerryon Johnson, not because he's bad, but Chase, they have 50 running backs on this roster, and Mostert should be the guy. It should be Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., and then I guess Trey Sermon. That's it. You can't give everybody the football, and I think they need to run with these guys for 9, 10, 11 touches a game. And so no Kerryon Johnson for me, and I think you got to agree, right?
I'm with you on that. Speaking of getting guys the football, next question coming in from Dodger Moon. Should the 49ers trade a second-round pick for Julio Jones? I'll start this one off, Thomas. I'll keep it short. They were hit hard by injuries last year. Julio Jones is getting older. He's also dealt with a lot of injuries. I think you're set at wide receiver. What say you?
Listen, I think they're 100% set at wide receiver. I think this is actually Doger Moon. He's hoping Dogecoin goes to the moon right here. I think it costs a lot of Dogecoin to even be able to pay Julio Jones. That's not the problem in terms of, do they need him for a roster spot? Can they give a second-round draft pick? No. Can you pay him the $17, $18 million a year that Julio Jones is making right now in Atlanta? The answer is no. Would he be great? Yes, he'd be great for every single football team in America right now would love Julio Jones. He's too expensive, and he's too old, and you mentioned it. I mean, the guy gets injured way too much. Not bad injured. He's not blowing ACLs every year, but he'll tweak an ankle here. And then it's like he's got to sit with a hamstring injury for a couple of weeks. So, no, I am out on this one, even if a second-round draft pick is kind of cheap for a great wide receiver. Let's see Darren's question right now. We think the 49ers draft as a whole. I'll start with this because you did a whole video talking about your draft breakdown. I watched the whole thing, thought it was fantastic. Listen, I think the 49ers had a good draft. I think the Trey Lance thing is take it or leave it, but they were going to get a quarterback anyway, and so we will trust Kyle Shanahan with the Trey Lance selection. The rest of this draft seems very much like the Niners were saying, we know more than you, the fans. We know more than Thomas Mott. We know more than Chase Sr. Because, Chase, where you and I are watching the draft together, a lot of these guys are not people that we would have taken in these positions. I don't think they needed an offensive lineman in the second round. They didn't need Trey Sermon, a running back, in the third round. But I'm not Kyle Shanahan. I'm not John Lynch. They know better than us. And so I'm not thrilled about their draft overall, especially early on. I think the later round draft picks at corner and safety were definitely positions of need. But I just think that the only way to look at this and not be somewhat disappointed is to trust that they know more than us, which is probably true.
Thomas is iffy on the draft. What do you guys think? Did you like the 49ers draft? Type a simple Y for yes, type N for no. The reason why I really liked it, you were aggressive and you moved up to get your franchise quarterback because you have questions about Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think the pairing of Trey Lance and Kyle Shanahan is going to be special. So I'm going to go ahead and type my Y for yes. Carl from San Francisco chiming in. Should the 49ers sign Kenny Vaccaro? Interesting.
No. No, not at all. How old is Kenny Vaccaro and how many injuries has he had? No, I'm out on this. And I think that overall, the Niners are probably done with signing people. And a guy like Vaccaro is going to be something if you need him in terms of an injury. So I'm out on the addition of Kenny Vaccaro. And listen, we can start putting names out there and we can talk about it. They need to sign this guy and they need to sign that guy. I really like where they're at right now. Now, is Kenny Vaccaro a bad player? No. Now, can you count on him to stay healthy for his entire 16, 17 games of the year? Probably not as well. And that's why, again, I'm out on signing a guy like Kenny Vaccaro. But if you get to training camp and the injury bug hits you again, pick up the phone, give him a phone call, and boom, he's a 49er.
Yeah, and Kenny Vaccaro, look, he's 30 years old. As Thomas mentioned, he's dealt with some injuries throughout his career. 83 tackles, 5 pass breakups last year, so at least there was some production, but I don't think that's the direction that the 49ers are heading in. Next question coming in from Praveen Patia. If Jimmy G gets injured, does Sudfeld or Lance or Rosen play? I think it all depends on what Trey Lance looks like throughout training camp, and if his development is able to progress in a quick manner, I think the 49ers are going to waste no time just unleashing him. If he is not ready to play, and Kyle Shanahan and this offensive staff are going to know when he is ready to play, then maybe you see Josh Rosen play, or possibly Nate Sudfeld, who comes over to the 49ers from the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been their backup for a while. I'm going to lean Trey Lance because the 49ers thought that he was more ready to play than Mac Jones, a guy who a lot of people thought was the most ready-to-play prospect in the NFL draft. Thomas, what say you?
If Garoppolo were to get hurt, let's just do a hypothetical here. Let's say Garoppolo gets hurt week 4, right? Heaven forbid, because we don't want anyone to get hurt. If Garoppolo goes down and Kyle Shanahan goes to the podium Sunday night after a win or a loss and says, we're going to go and start Nate Sudfeld instead of Trey Lance in week 4, I think all of San Francisco will collectively go, what? You got to play Trey Lance if Garoppolo gets hurt. You don't have to play him instead of Jimmy Garoppolo. You got to play him if he were to go ahead and get hurt, because even though there are talks about it taking time to go ahead and learn the offensive system and you want him to rest and sit, I get that, and you understand that too, Chase, but you got to play a guy you spent 3 first-round draft picks on. And so even though you start with Garoppolo week 1, and really you want to roll with Jimmy Garoppolo for as long as possible, hopefully the entire year, just to let Trey Lance go ahead and have his time, I think there will be a situation where if Garoppolo gets hurt or if he stinks, Lance will go ahead and be the next man up. Predict this, though. Fill in the blank. Trey Lance will get his first start in week what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Chase, if you had to give your best guess, what week would he get his first start in?
I'm going to say 7 or 8. I think Jimmy G is able to stay healthy for a little while, and I think he's actually going to play pretty well because Jimmy G is a good quarterback. The 49ers Report is brought to you by Manscaped. So I had somebody reach out to me during NFL Draft Weekend, and they said, Chase, I've been thinking about buying Manscaped products, but I'm not sure if I should do it. Is it easier to trim yourself up and clean yourself up with the Lawnmower 4.0, which was released today, or use scissors? I responded and said, dude, you're crazy. It is much easier to clean yourself up so that you're not scary for your lady downstairs with the Lawnmower 4.0, which was released today. So I responded back to him. I said, 1,000,000% the Lawnmower 4.0 is the way to do it. And I told him just hold off a little bit because the Lawnmower 4.0, it's coming out on Thursday. And you can get it right now as well, the faithful. So go to manscaped.com/49ers. Enter the promo code 49ers. So therefore, you get 20% off plus free shipping. And Thomas, the mustache that you have looking like Aaron Rodgers, you don't have to just use the Lawnmower 4.0 downstairs in the nether region. You can change the guard because there are interchangeable guards, and you can kind of trim up and shape up your mustache as well.
That's what I was going to say, right? Going into the NFL draft, I was like, well, maybe I'll just do my normal little beard action. And then the Rodgers rumors, I was like, we got to shave it. And of course, I used my Lawnmower 3.0, and now we're going to get the Lawnmower 4.0. Let me just say this. Of course, the Lawnmower 4.0 comes out today. We're going to get our hands on it here pretty soon. The 3.0 was already super great. And if they've upgraded a whole other point, it's going to be absolutely even better. And so you mentioned it. Manscaped.com/49ers, the place to go. 20% off your first order plus free shipping. That link will be down below in the description box. Chase, it's going to be great because the last one was just as good.
Agreed there. Next question coming in from Noe Jiku Pena. It is a $50 super chat. And I think he paid $50 in super chats because he's a huge fan of you, Thomas. So go ahead and read this one.
No, listen, first off, my man, you've been watching me for a long time. I've read a lot of your comments. I appreciate this. This is almost too nice with the super chat. You say, at Thomas Mott, thanks for all the good 49ers reporting, man. A lot of us are going to miss the mustache. LOL, go 49ers. Will you miss the mustache, though? Okay, listen, again, we talked about it, how I'm going to be moving on to some other Chat Sports products, but you are in good hands. I know that we swap hosts here, and people are like, where did Thomas go? Listen, one, you can still DM me on Twitter, @RealThomasMott, and I'll answer your questions, but Chase is more than capable. He's going to do great. It'll be a week, and you guys are going to forget my name. You'll be like, Chase Sr., ready to rock. He's taken over one of the best 49er channels, the best 49er channel on YouTube, and he's going to have a lot of fun. And so embrace him. bring him in. This is not a situation where they're getting rid of me and then implanting Chase. No, it's why we're here on the screen together. I'm still going to be at Chat Sports. I'm moving on to other channels and doing some other things. And so embrace Chase. Chase, you're going to have a lot of fun. But no, I'll finish with this. Penna, I appreciate the super chat, man, and I appreciate everything and all the questions that each and every one of you guys have had. We started with 0 subscribers here, and I built it all the way with Chat Sports together to 34,000, almost 35,000. And so as a sign off, I guess, you won't see me on the channel anymore here. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I appreciate the super chat there.
Well said. I know people are going to miss you because they're in the comments saying, "Where's Thomas Mott? Who is this Chase Senior guy?"
Don't forget about me. It'll be a week, and they'll be like, "Who's Thomas Mott?" Trust me, they're going to forget.
Exactly right. That's why we're bringing you on today, doing a little two-man show. Next question coming in from PB. What about cornerback Steven Nelson, who at times has been pretty solid for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I guess you might look at Steven Nelson if you don't want to bring back Richard Sherman, a guy like that, Thomas?
Yeah, I guess that would make sense, right? Or Brashad Breeland, the Kansas City Chief, who's like 4 years younger than a guy like Richard Sherman. The age here is the thing to circle, right? Not the stats from last year, even though at least he has stats, because some of these free agents who are available right now were too injured to even have stats last year. The only reason you would not take Sherman and go with a guy like Steven Nelson or somebody else is if Sherman's age scares you too much, which to me is a viable excuse for a team that was not the Niners last year. Doesn't make sense if you're the Niners, because you saw him last year and saw that he was able to produce when healthy, unless you don't think that he can. And so Nelson is a viable option. Again, throw him up there with Rashad Breeland. You got a couple of names if you need to go sign a cornerback, but why not just get a guy who's familiar in the system, who's familiar with the Bay Area, and who's familiar with the teammates around him? I would still take Richard Sherman over Steven Nelson. But Chase, I at least like the idea that Nelson is younger and has been somewhat healthier in his career.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. Yeah, he'd be a depth piece as well if the 49ers do decide to bring him in. It's crazy. I mean, there are so many players on the market still because the salary cap went down. So a lot of teams are just holding out to see which guys are available or who they want to sign to round out that roster. Let's get to this question from Paul Simmons. RG3 said he wants to mentor Lance during the draft. Any chance that happens? Well, we know Kyle Shanahan and RG3 have somewhat of a relationship. Not sure if it's good or bad, but Kyle Shanahan was the OC for Washington when RG3 went on to win the Rookie of the Year. What do you think about RG3 possibly mentoring Trey Lance?
What is he going to mentor him on? Just how to not get injured and ruin your entire career? Like, I'm an RG3 guy. Met him a couple of times. He's a great guy to meet in person, and I wish him all the best. I mean, what happened at Washington was an absolute tragedy. But I don't know if he's the guy that you need mentoring a young quarterback. Like, I mean, sure, I'm not going to turn down a phone call from Robert Griffin III, but I don't know if I want him to be the mentor for my football team. I just like Jimmy Garoppolo mentor him. Garoppolo's already said that he's going to mentor and be the guy to go ahead and issue in the Trey Lance era, whether Garoppolo wants to or not. And so I think RG3 is nice to do this. Baylor guys, we got to give him the respect. Nice guy. Met him in person a couple of times, as I said. But mentoring is, cool, right? Pick up the phone, 1 or 2 phone calls. But if this is like a weekly thing where he's like back and forth, I don't know about that overall. I didn't see this quote, though, which is kind of weird. So it must not have been that big of a deal in terms of Paul saying that Lance or that RG3 wants to be mentored by him. But I guess if Lance wants to do it, he'll make a phone call and make it happen.
Yeah, that was on Bleacher Report that RG3 said, hey, we got a young gunna. I want to mentor him. And I think RG3 has actually really matured over the last few years. Kind of did the same with Lamar Jackson and thought he did a good job of mentoring him. I didn't think he had much left on the field, but that report coming from Bleacher Report, we'll see. Hey, I mean, anytime you have professional experience and you can kind of pass that down to a guy like Trey Lance who's very young, why not? Who knows? So Thomas is questioning RG3 wanting to mentor Trey Lance. Do you have a question for us? It's part of the reason why Chat Sports is growing so rapidly is because we are an interactive YouTube channel and we allow you guys to join the show. So if you have a question for us, we do a couple of live mailbags every single week on the 49ers Report. We go live on Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. If you haven't subscribed, we're trying to get to 35,000 subscribers, and we are almost there. Subscribe and join our live mailbags by hitting that big red button down below or going to youtube.com/49erstv. In addition to mailbags, we're hitting you with the best news and rumors and analysis on the San Francisco 49ers. Another question coming in, this one from Fred the Farmer. Go sign Golden Tate. How about it, Thomas?
Why is everyone so obsessed with Golden Tate? What did Golden Tate do last year? I don't think a lot, because I'm not even remembering who he played for in 2020. who did he play for in 2020? He was an Eagle, and then he was a Giant. Was he a Giant in 2020 is what I'm being told right now? That tells you he did nothing with the New York Football Giants when they needed him to do stuff because their receiver core was pretty bad. That's why they went out and signed Kenny Galladay and almost drafted Devontae Smith. So, I mean, I guess if you really need some depth and you don't like Richie James Jr., you think Jalen Hurd, like someone said in the comment section, is going to get hurt just tying his shoes. So that's what's happened the past couple of years. Not tying his shoes, but getting hurt. But I'm out on Golden Tate. Let's see. 35 catches for 388 yards. Woo. That is exciting. I'm out on Golden Tate unless he wants to play for like $1 million, which in that case is pretty darn cheap.
Hey, I'll say this, though. Golden in Golden, like, that could be a nice little saying.
That's the only reason that we would ever want to sign him, just for that analogy right there. That's the only reason.
You have Trey Day. You have the Trey Lance dance, Golden in Golden. We're working with some nice little corny sayings here. They're always nice to go to when you're just trying to have a little fun. So Golden in Golden, maybe it happens and the 49ers bring in Golden Tate, but realistically, I just don't see it happening. Last question coming in from Jeremy Bleeds. Would you sign Geno Atkins, defensive tackle who played for the Bengals, sparingly last year?
No, Jeremy Bleeds, I would not. Listen, you gotta be careful when you guys make your names here on YouTube. It's some weird stuff, right? You can ask a question on YouTube. We're gonna put it up there, and everyone's gonna see your name there. Maybe that is his last name, though. Which, if that's the case, then what are you gonna do? You can't change that. So, no, I'm out on Geno Atkins. You said played sparingly last year. It was very sparingly overall during his time with the Cincinnati Bengals. He had one tackle, one quarterback hit. Javon Kinlaw going to be a stud. Is he going to be a superstar? I think that's yet to be seen. He was pretty darn good the last half of the year last year. But I don't think you need to go ahead and take snaps away from him, like we keep talking about with these free agents. If you have a scenario where, heaven forbid, I'm not even going to name names, but a Niner gets hurt, right? You can go to the free agency. It's like, oh, we need a D tackle. Geno Atkins, come on in. And then we'll be really pumped. But bringing him in right now, when you already have a very solid starting 2 defensive line, I think the depth's there good there as well. I'm out on an older, let's say it again, 33-year-old Geno Atkins who did basically nothing last year.
I was lying. We're going to continue to answer these questions because we have another super chat coming in, and this is from your homie again, Thomas, so get to it.
Baby. Which receiver is going to be the 49ers deep threat, or do we have to sign or trade for one? You got a bunch. I think Brandon Ayuk is going to be the deep threat. I mean, listen, I think, we keep getting wide receiver questions, and no, I appreciate you again for the super chat. You are my guy. We keep getting receiver questions, and to me, it's weird. It's like we get all these receiver questions as if the Niner fans are worried about the receiving core, and I get the reasoning because behind Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, there is some worry there. James is, not that great of a receiver, and then Hurd has been injured, but the first two are really good. And you want to know who the deep threat is? Let's just look at Brandon Ayuk. The guy was an absolute stud as a rookie, and most wide receivers aren't good as a rookie. I think he's going to be your arguably best receiver in 2021, and he will for sure be that deep threat.